Hello, and welcome to English 2 Unit 3 instructional video. I'm Sharon Graves, Secondary ELAR Coordinator, and it's good to be with you again. Please note the Unit 3 Analyzing Informational Text Blueprint, which is also on the CTO website. Unit 3 lasts 18 instructional days and will be assessed December 12th, before the last week of the first semester. Our learning targets for today are: I can use the standards to plan for instruction. I can use authentic current events to plan for student learning with expository text. I can plan for evidences of learning that will allow students to analyze, make inferences, and draw conclusions about expository text and provide text evidence to support understanding. The hotspots for Unit 3 are the Knowledge and Skills Statement 2.9 with Figure 19b and TEKS 2.8, 2.9b, and c. Looking at 2.9 in the IFD, what are the most important ideas in this knowledge and skills statement? What information will the students need to know to master this standard? Are these ideas being introduced or being developed? Where and in what context, and how are these ideas relevant to students? Note the cognitive level, content, and context of each of the standards, 2.9 and SEs 2.8a, 2.9b, and c. To deeply understand your standards, ask yourself, what are the cognitive levels of the verbs, the content, the context, the vocabulary? What other SEs are connected to the readiness standards? What additional resources or information will the students need to master the SEs? What does learning look like for expository text? What are some ways to informally and formally assess student mastery? Once the standard has been deconstructed, you should establish the learning target for your students. Choose a high-interest current event expository text with varying reading levels, so you can differentiate the various organizational patterns, and rich texts provide students inference and drawing conclusions. You should read and annotate the text prior to teaching your students. You should create the guiding questions and establish a purpose for their reading. Students should analyze, make inferences, and draw conclusions about expository text in order to understand the big ideas. They should know the supporting details and text structure and how ideas are connected. They should probe each idea in the text, effectively summarize the text, and use text features and structures to understand and analyze the text. They should generate their own and answer text-dependent questions and provide evidence from the text. When you are planning, questions to ask yourself are: does the article that you've chosen have various structures? Can you create text-dependent questions using the article that align with the standards? What will your students provide as evidences of learning? What strategies will you model for students to emulate? Can the students draw a conclusion based on the text? The featured article is from the News ELA website, featuring current expository articles across multiple content areas and at varying reading and vocabulary levels, so that students can have virtually the same article but at different reading and readiness levels. How will I know students learn? With the standard in mind, what different types of evidence of learning can the students provide to demonstrate their deep understanding of expository text? These are but examples of evidences. In a moment, we will review the Socratic seminar or fishbowl discussion. Text should be read at least 3 times for a deep understanding. Before the first reading, you should frame the lesson by drawing upon background knowledge, instill curiosity to hook your students' attention, establish purposes for reading through essential questions, teach students to set their own purposes for reading by turning the title into a question and looking for text structure, build vocabulary background, and ensure that students annotate and record their thoughts by having a pen and pencil in hand as they're reading. During reading, Students should stay focused on their purposes. They should leave tracks of their thinking on the passage and relate their existing knowledge to new concepts from the passage. After reading, students should reflect and summarize the main points of the passage. They should analyze and extend the text ideas by making connections with broader perspectives and concepts. They should discuss their thoughts with a partner and write additional insights gained. Then reread with new questions and purposes to create deeper levels of thinking. Notice the reading strategies that are aligned with expository essays. Let's look at the Socratic discussion strategy. The purpose of it is to promote sharing ideas and listening to others' views. It encourages critical thinking. Students take ownership through the gradual release model. There's small group discussion interaction where they agree and disagree of their ideas, and then the student observers record the main points to share afterwards. Students should read and annotate the text, and they should respond to a variety of questions. For example, what is your reaction? What strikes you about this reading? What surprises you? What new information did you learn? What challenges you about something you thought you knew? Does something puzzle you? What questions would you ask the writer, and what is the text not telling you? As a teacher, you should select 4 to 6 students to sit in the middle of the room and participate in the discussion. The remainder of the class makes an outside or semicircle around the discussion group. As a teacher, you may begin facilitating, but then you want to release gradually to a student to be the group leader. Establish norms. The observers should record their comments to share later. Change groups after about 10 to 12 minutes. All participants should be able to share their thoughts, and this will culminate into a writing activity for reflection and making connections and transfer. This is an excerpt of a class introduction for their first Socratic seminar. Although these students are sitting on the floor, you may have students stay in their desks, whatever is comfortable for you and your class.
You'll probably never hear in school again from this point is that you don't want to raise your hand. You want to conduct this like a conversation, that you want to learn more about the topic, right? You want to spark thoughts. You want it to invoke fear in your classmates so no one wants to talk. So you keep your hands down, throw your thing in, have a conversation, and hopefully we'll come up with some new ideas. So don't worry about it. But your questions, David, you don't have to go in any particular order. You can pick your favorite one.
Wait, can I request something, David? For the one about,
For a rebuttal, do we have to
Victor's fault and on return back to me?
You do. Yep, every time you speak.
Then once you,
For the one,
so is it when you
like,
speak
where it's
twice
like
and you go
Victor's
out?
fault and on return back to me.
And then at the end, everyone will speak. And so you can talk after that, like it's more of an open conversation. But don't forget, at first, the outer circle can't say a word. It's hard. You guys, you're taking notes, you're observing, and you're writing comments down as the outer circle. In 10 minutes, 12 minutes actually, we're going to switch, outer circle becomes inner.
Alicia had a question that, for the next round, the questions will restart, we can ask the same questions.
For the next round, they don't restart. At the end, you can address all of them. All right? Okay, so let's start, David.
Okay, welcome to the first round of the Socratic seminar.
Students can use a preset template to guide their thinking and writing depending on your purpose and strategies. Keep them simple so that students are free to think and respond to the text and to their classmates' thoughts and discussions. To make authentic writing connections, after reading, writing, and discussing, students can take a position and write a persuasive essay concerning their topic. Research the topic further and write their own expository paper with new information. Writing takes thinking to a deeper level. It enhances students' ability to think, make connections, and achieve clarity, logic, and precision. More specifics regarding procedures and roles for Socratic seminars are on the curriculum framework found on the CTL website, as well as multiple close reading and writing protocols and strategies. Please click on the link for more resources. Thank you for giving of your time to participate in the expository video and your diligence in ensuring your students learn. Please feel free to contact me anytime that you have questions or need additional support.